I'm here. I'm here. How is everybody tonight? Hopefully, you are all doing well.
Wonderful.
If you guys will look, I think it's under you should see a tab that says polls and quizzes. I'm just curious how everybody will answer these. So I've created a little quiz there. It's got 10 questions on it. It should be active. Um, just kind of want to see, where everybody's understanding is. Uh, of this project because I think it's really important. And I'm going to do some updates in the end, but I really want to touch on some things. I'm not sure if people understand the likenesses and the differences between Movequest and Bitcoin. So I'm going to share my screen. So it's not really a presentation too much. It's going to go pretty quickly, but I kind of really want to go over a few things with everybody because we're getting ready to really start moving. You guys are going to see a lot of things start to transpire now on the website. I'm going to shut my video off real quick only because it gets in the way. The videos do. Hang on here. I got to stop sharing. Hold on here so I can move that thing out of the way. All right, share. Then I can move that there. Okay, now I can get the presentation up. Sorry, guys. All right. So I want to ask if any of you, we left the chat open tonight, okay? Because I want people to be able to answer, and then we're going to open up the mic too at the end. Does anybody know when Bitcoin first reached $125? You guys all know that Movequest has hit an all-time high of 125 dollars, right? Everybody understands that. We all loved seeing that, didn't we? Does anybody know when Bitcoin first reached $125? It was April of 2013. So it took Bitcoin 4 years to reach $125. Now, in 2009, when Bitcoin launched, pretty much it was zero. I mean, it wasn't nowhere near even a penny. It was like 0.0008. Okay. And in July of 2010, it actually reached 8 cents. So it took a year for it to even get to 8 cents. Right. And then in 2011, it actually hit $1 for the first time. Okay, we launched MoveQuest at $1. Now, late in 2012, actually, it hit $30 in June of 2011, but then it crashed and it went down to like $4 or $5, 3 or 4 months later. But then in 2025, it started to slowly climb to that $10 and $20 range. Okay, we're kind of back and forth right now between the high seven and low eights, $8 range. Okay, and we've only been on the market for maybe about 190 days. Okay, so about 6 months or so, maybe 7 months. In April 2013, Bitcoin broke $125 for the first time. Okay, that was 4 years after Bitcoin hit the market. Now, granted, nobody knew anything about crypto. Okay, so MoveQuest has got some advantages over Bitcoin because at the time, Bitcoin, according to all your major banks and financial institutions and people that claim to be, very smart in the world of finance, all said that crypto was nothing but a big scam. And now it's $1 trillion market cap, and it's not going anywhere. It's very interwoven into our ecosystem. But I just wanted to show you where MoveQuest has already reached that all-time high of 100, not all-time. Well, it is our all-time high. It's not going to be our all-time high of $125. And it took Bitcoin the 4 years. Now, my next question is, you guys all know that you're mining um, MoveQuest, right? Some of you we probably wish we were um, mining Bitcoin as well here. I mean, if we could do that, I definitely would. But that's not possible because Bitcoin, I mean, if you guys have Bitcoin, you need to hold that too. Okay, here we go. I'm not giving financial advice, but that's like That's like the king of crypto right there. And it doesn't even matter if it's just a little bit of Bitcoin. Bitcoin hasn't even seen its all-time high yet, just like Movequest hasn't. But when Bitcoin got started, it was actually relatively cheap to mine Bitcoin. I even mined it with my computer. I didn't know much about it and I didn't do very good at it. But when it first got started, you were probably mining Bitcoin for about a penny a Bitcoin when it very first started launching. There was hardly anybody mining it at the time. And then in 2011, it was a few cents, okay, to mine your Bitcoin. But at that time, people were just using their normal computers. They weren't using the graphic cards yet. And, it was pretty much just the CPUs on your computer. But then they started to get kind of crazy and you started buying these graphic cards. And then it started to get more expensive, where it was $1 to $5 to mine one Bitcoin. And then that's not even including the electricity. Okay. The electricity costs quite a bit if you had multiple machines that were mining that Bitcoin. And then in about 2013, to mine one Bitcoin, it would cost you about $20. And at that time, people were using those ASIC miners. So I don't know if you guys remember those days, but that was the big machine to mine the Bitcoin with those ASICs computers. Now, taking all of this into account, my whole point is to reach that $125 mark when Bitcoin did that, you would be spending about $20 to mine one Bitcoin. Okay, by the time Bitcoin had hit that $10 to $20 range, you were spending about $5 per Bitcoin. So if you were to look at Bitcoin today, it's going to cost. Now, what I'm trying to explain to you is that when you're mining for crypto, it does cost money. Hopefully everybody can hear me because it says my internet is unstable. So I just want to let you guys, I wanted you to understand that the fees, the mining fees that are here that you're spending, that's normal. Okay. And that's also the self-sustaining ecosystem. And I don't know if you guys realize it or not, but Bitcoin is also a self-sustaining ecosystem. And we have quite a few likenesses to the Bitcoin ecosystem. So when you're looking at the Bitcoin ecosystem, well, let's talk about Movequest first. Does everybody understand what our self-sustaining ecosystem is? I'm assuming that everybody pretty much has got that down pat, right? You understand that when you're mining Movequest, you're paying a submission fee, right? Oops, hold on here a minute, you guys. I'm sorry. My phone is giving me issues. I'm on my phone's Wi-Fi right now because my Wi-Fi is kind of sketchy. Skeetchy, I think is what they say. Oh, hold on. I really apologize, you guys. What the heck is going on with my stuff here? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Our ecosystem, you've got those fees that you're going to pay when you're submitting. When you mint your miners, there's a fee. When you submit your proof of physical activity, there's a fee. When you go into the hatchery, there's a fee. When you go into the evolution contract, there's a fee. And all of this is building that liquidity. Okay, that becomes that self-funding ecosystem. And that's very similar to what Bitcoin has. With Bitcoin and their self-sustaining ecosystem, it's coming from the miners. Okay, everybody who is mining the Bitcoin token or coin, because Bitcoin is a coin and we're a token. They validate those transactions. Okay, that's how that network is secured. They're rewarded Bitcoin for their work. And that's what creates that motivation, or that's what incentivizes people to continue validating those blockchain transactions because they know they're going to be rewarded Bitcoin. So it didn't matter to them what it costs to mine. because they seen it. They had that vision. They understood what they were involved in. They understood that they were mining for Bitcoin and they were validating these transactions. And so the mining costs they had, the electricity, the hardware, that actually created that real economic demand for the Bitcoin. Bitcoin also they have that halving mechanism, and we also mirror Bitcoin's halving mechanism. Okay, so with Movequest, you are submitting that proof of physical activity. That's what's validating those mining rewards that you're receiving. Okay, that's the comparison between Bitcoin and the Movequest. Now, the halving, we do the same thing. Okay, we have a hard cap, 21 million Movequest tokens, just like Bitcoin has a hard cap, 21 million Bitcoin tokens. And we distribute them in the same manner. And we have the same number that goes out each year. And we use the same 4-year halving mechanism. And you do that because it reduces the supply. So in the beginning, it's a little heavy, but in 4 years, Bitcoin or Movequest is going to go through a halving. August 1st, 3 years from August 1st coming up, it's going to go through the halving, just like Bitcoin does. And so it'll only be half of what's actually being mined today. Now, Bitcoin is completely decentralized. That means there's no central authority. There's no government, there's no company, there's no individual. It's all open source code. And anyone can run a node to verify the transactions, okay, that maintain that decentralization. Movequest is completely decentralized. Everything is on chain. There is nobody that is managing or controlling the Movequest project. Your mining, your proof of physical activity, everything you do, you are making calls to smart contracts that are recording this to the blockchain. The transaction fees for Bitcoin, those replace the block rewards. So as these block rewards decrease, transaction fees actually sustain the miners long term. This is Bitcoin. And it's the same here. All of these fees that you pay, that sustains the market value of the token, the liquidity pool. You as an individual do not come to this project and create the token pair and inject it as liquidity. And that's what all your other projects have you do, because they don't have a self-sustaining ecosystem. But we mirror Bitcoin only using proof of physical activity. It's also got that immutable ledger. Bitcoin transactions are recorded on a public, immutable blockchain. It prevents all fraud and it ensures your security. Everything you do with Movequest is recorded to the blockchain. It makes sure that there's no fraud and it ensures your security. It removes the need for banks, any intermediaries, or any third parties, and you have full control of your assets. There is nothing with Movequest that can go in and say, okay, you can't have those tokens. Okay, you can't transfer those tokens. We can't pause. We can't block. We can't call back. We can't burn. We can't do any of that stuff because that Movequest contract's been renounced. You are in full control of your assets. If you lose them, you lose them. We can't even go get them back if you did lose them because we have no authority to do that. Bitcoin's limited supply, that 21 million market cap, just like what we have, or hard cap on their token supply, that ensures that the demand grows over time. Same with Movequest. It's going to continue to grow, and we can't mint more tokens. Okay, we don't have an unlimited supply. We can't change the amount that goes out each year. It's written into the tokenomics. And there's no reliance on new users. Okay, so that's the key thing about a self-sustaining ecosystem. Your Ponzi schemes, they rely on new users. Bitcoin doesn't rely on new users, and Movequest doesn't rely on new users. Now, even if no users were to join Bitcoin or no users were to join the Movequest community, they still continue to function because it's secured by miners, it's sustained by fees, and it's driven by community demand. It's a completely community-driven project. Now, your Ponzi-like projects that collapse because they don't have that constant influx of new money, they don't have self-sustaining ecosystems. So when we built Movequest, I made sure that we use the same fundamentals as Bitcoin. Why? Why rewrite the wheel that's already working? Because the minute you try to redesign the wheel, what happens? Bumps, kinks, everything falls apart. It doesn't work. And so we mirror the Bitcoin system. Bitcoin's been running independently since 2009, completely independent. Drives the banking systems insane. And for years, you guys heard him. You heard, especially the CEO of Chase Bank. Oh my gosh, I used to laugh because he was the loudest. It's a scam, it's a scam until his daughter made millions. And all of a sudden, it was the best thing since sliced bread. So instead of bulking crypto, they're now jumping on the bandwagon. Now they're getting involved. Wells Fargo currently right now, they're building an infrastructure so that they can start to interact with the blockchain, so that people can start to move their crypto using Wells Fargo. Okay, there's other banks that are also starting to implement this. So this works not because of marketing hype, but because miners, users, and all of you who are here have aligned incentives and you keep the network running. And it's the same with both Movequest and with Bitcoin. So when I compare Movequest self-sustaining ecosystem to Bitcoin's, both are designed as self-sustaining ecosystems. They operate in different ways, granted, right? Because Bitcoin is proof of work, Movequest is proof of physical activity. But they're still very, very similar in many ways. Okay, we do have the fixed token supply, that 21 million. And that's a big deal because that creates that scarcity. You guys, scarcity is huge when you're talking about crypto. That's why we have the hatchery, okay, because that creates that scarcity. Those of you who are holding those tokens, you stake them into the hatchery and you're earning even more Movequest. Every single day, you're earning 0.001846 per Movequest that you have in that hatchery contract. Plus, you got your miners for that. Mining is the core earning mechanism. Okay, that is the core feature of Movequest. It is the core feature of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's proof of work, Movequest is proof of physical activity. So both are using those decentralized mining mechanisms. Okay, and that's how you are mining those tokens with no centralized control whatsoever. No reliance on new users. Okay, and I keep hounding on that because I really want people to understand that it is the ecosystem that sustains that liquidity, that market value of the token. If Movequest never brought in a new user and we only were working with its current community, the Movequest token would probably fall down into the $2 to $3 range and it would be sustainable at that level. And so every time you were mining your Movequest, you would be right around that $2 to $3 mark. Why is that? Because every day 2,500 more are coming into circulation. So 2 months ago, when the bottom floor was around $8, there wasn't 60 days times 2,500 Movequest that had gone into circulation. So you have to remember that the floor drops every day because 2,500 more Movequest are going into circulation. But it sustains itself based on its current ecosystem. Now, we are growing and people love the project and people are getting engaged and our community is growing every day. So what does that mean? That means more people are engaged in the ecosystem. That means that there is more demand for the token. That means that there's more liquidity because every day there's more people submitting. Every day there's more people evolving. There's more people joining the hatchery. There's more people that are unlocking dock slots. There's more people that will be coming in through the leasing. There'll be people that will be joining with challenges, and all of these engagements within the ecosystem is what sustains that liquidity pool. It also incentivizes people. people are motivated and incentivized to mine Bitcoin because of the rewards, right? And you're incentivized to become more healthy, to become more active, to get up and run and walk and jump and hop and skip and dance and, whatever it is that you do for your physical activity. Why? Because you want to mine that Movequest token. And the more you move, the more intense your movements are, you're going to earn more Movequest. When you submit, if you're in the hatchery, you're earning even more Movequest tokens because every single day when you submit or within the 48 hours, so your submission cards can't expire. If they expire, then you didn't get to earn those extra Movequest rewards that you have in the hatchery. But that's kind of like a boost. So it motivates you even more to become more physically active and to make sure that you're submitting that proof of physical activity. Bitcoin has got mining difficulty. Okay, the more people mining Bitcoin, the more difficult it becomes, the less Bitcoin a person can actually mine. Okay, it becomes competitive. How much computing power do you have? What type of machinery are you using? How much electricity are you willing to pay for? That's going to determine how much Bitcoin you're going to be able to mine. With Movequest, the more users that are engaged in our community, the more difficult the mining for Movequest becomes. But the market value begins to increase because the larger the community, the more engagement in the ecosystem, the more market value is there for that Movequest token. And so even though you might be mining less Movequest, the Movequest that you are mining is much more valuable than what it was prior. And just like Bitcoin transaction fees sustain the ecosystem. Movequest, the transaction fees sustain the ecosystem. I took a very long time to study Bitcoin, to study the foundation, the fundamentals, the mechanics, the whole operational part of Bitcoin to make sure that I could take and make Movequest operate just like Bitcoin. Now, when I was giving you the comparisons of the market values of Bitcoin and Movequest, that shows you that with only about 4,200 people submitting every day, Movequest still reached all-time highs faster than Bitcoin. With less than 5,000 people submitting daily, it took Bitcoin almost 1 million people, okay, to hit $8. We're not even close to 1 million people. Movequest has 1 million people. We're already past what Bitcoin's market value is today. Okay, so Movequest is stronger. Movequest is a beast. And it's all about you becoming more healthy, you moving more, you becoming the best version of yourself. And that fixed token supply that we have, you don't see many projects with 21 million. What you see is projects that have hundreds of billions and even trillions. I've even seen quadrillions of tokens. And I'm thinking, what are these people thinking? Okay, it's hard enough, okay, to keep the market value stable with 21 million max supply. And these projects will tell you, oh yeah, you can spend $100 and you've got 10 million tokens. All that tokens got to do is get to 0.001 and you're wealthy. Well, good luck getting to 0.001. They'll be lucky if they hit 0.00001. Okay, when you've got trillions of tokens. And when you're talking about billions and hundreds of millions of tokens, the day that those tokens will ever see $1 probably never happened. But they sell people on that idea. I hold a lot and it only has to do a little. The problem is that little it has to do is a lot. And so we completely mirror what Bitcoin does. This no reliance on new users for sustainability. I don't know if people realize this or not, but we don't even use the money that comes through when people mint a miner. All it does is go back into the vault. It doesn't ever get spent. This project never sells Movequest. When Movequest comes into the system, I don't know if you guys realize this or not, before it can be sold, it has to be bought. That means it gets paired to USDT and added as liquidity. The project never sells it. You will never see that day because it doesn't happen. It's not written into the contracts. It cannot be sold. It has to go into the liquidity pool and be purchased before it can be sold. And so every time somebody mints a miner, every time they unlock a doc slot, every time Movequest is used within the ecosystem, you know it can't be sold until it's been bought. And that all happens from the engagement of the ecosystem. And the more the community grows, the more stable this becomes. Right now, you've got the submissions that people are spending are less than the market value of the tokens that are actually being mined. That's normal, okay? But as the community grows, eventually the submissions will be more than what the market value of those tokens are being mined every day. And that's when you start to see that shift. That's when you start to see everything really twist into a whole new light. That's what everybody's like, oh my gosh, this actually happened. This is a token that has real world value. Okay. And the faster we grow, the faster the market value goes up. The slower we grow, the slower the market value goes up. But one thing you can be certain of, the market value will go up. We've already outdone Bitcoin in our first 7 months. And our market cap is actually pretty good in comparisons to what Bitcoin was then as well. So super excited about what we have for this project. I hope you guys are just as excited as we are. I'm not going to go through all this, but I'm going to make this available to people because I think it is really a good table for you guys to look at. Where Bitcoin does proof of work, we do proof of physical activity. Energy consumption for Bitcoin's super high. There's nothing here. Okay, you're using your fitness data, which by the way, we don't store, save, sell, or share. Okay, you're in total control of that. And I want everybody to kind of be able to look at this. So it gives you the comparisons, but it also shows you the differences. I want to talk about the hatchery just a little bit tonight. I'll turn my video back on really quick. So the hatchery, when we set this up, especially the 4-tier hatchery, I want everybody to understand where we're going with this, okay? When you deposit into the hatchery, it's allowing you to earn additional Movequest tokens. Now, for our current community, we're really encouraging our holders to use the hatchery. It locks the tokens up into a smart contract that's not hackable. Okay, it's very, very secure. You are earning more Movequest tokens as soon as the website goes live, which should happen anytime within the next 24 to 48 hours. We'll begin the process. Okay, I'll let CoinMarketCap know. Please verify our Movequest listing will be verified on the Avalanche chain within the different wallets and things like that. I have to wait for that website to be completed so they don't use the dev site when they verify us. But they'll use when they do the FDV, it'll be based on the real numbers, not 21 million. Currently, everything is based on the 21 million tokens. So they'll base it on what's actually held in the holders' wallets, okay, not what's in the contracts that won't be sold. So it's a really good way for us to get that real official FDV. Right now, okay, so we go live with our launch, which is I want to say 3 to 4 weeks is what you have left. It could be less, okay, but I want everybody to understand this. The hatchery is going to adjust as an onboarding feature. Okay, because it's going to allow people to come in and get started using the hatchery and be able to earn those additional rewards, but they won't get their MoveQuest back. Okay, they'll have to pay the fee just like everybody else does. Currently, our community is being, I don't want to use the word allowed. We're making it possible for you to get all of that MoveQuest back. We're using it right now as a tool for our current community to be able to use it to hold your MoveQuest tokens, to earn those rewards, and to get the MoveQuest back. Plus, you got all of the miners. Now, do the grand launch, the hatchery will take on a whole new form. Now, don't freak out yet, because I got something special for all of you here that are currently in the hatchery. So just hold on. But I want to explain to you that when people onboard, the MoveQuest fee will adjust. It'll be slightly lower, plus the AVAX fee, because the AVAX fee is part of that liquidity. So they'll still pay the same amount. Okay. If they wanted 16 Vanguards to do the Titans, it would cost them, I think, $3,600 in total. It will still cost them that in MoveQuest and in AVAX. Okay, a combination. They will not get the MoveQuest back. That's just the fee. Okay, just like when they come in and they mint a navigator and then they go and evolve, they don't get that MoveQuest back. So once we do the launch, those of you who are in the hatchery now, you're kind of grandfathered into what we call the golden hatchery. Okay, that will be a tier above. So the current community, only those wallets will be allowed into the golden hatchery. That way you are able to continue staking that MoveQuest for those rewards and be able to get all of your MoveQuest back. But once we do the launch, that ends. Okay, so any of the community who doesn't take advantage of the hatchery, you will never be able to get into the golden hatchery, and you will not get your MoveQuest back. So it kind of bumps you out of the hatchery. The hatchery becomes a mechanism for people to onboard and to be able to earn those additional rewards. It's a way for them to boost the MoveQuest that they're receiving. But all of you who are currently in this community, you get that perk. It's a big perk. It's a huge perk. It also makes sure that when the hatchery is completed, you don't have this race to the exchange to sell all the MoveQuest. Okay, this right now is being used as a reward for our holders. And those of you who are holding, you will be able to roll right into the golden hatchery. It's not going to cost you an AVAX fee. You're just going to roll into it. You're not going to get miners, and it's going to continue to allow you to mine those tokens. Nobody else will ever be able to enter that golden hatchery. It's only for you guys. And when the last wallet leaves it, it'll be over. Okay, so it will only be for those people who are currently in the 4-tier hatchery. When your 222 days are up, you will have the option to roll those MoveQuests right into the golden hatchery. But it will only be those wallets that are currently there now up until the grand launch. Now, it's a great time for you guys. You've got builders and different people who are saying, well, we're going to wait until everything launches. This is a really good time to engage them into the hatchery, because there's only, like I said, 2 to 4 week window. Okay, we've got the Web3 that they're actually in the they're actually uploading it into production right now. We really want to test that a little bit more. The leasing is ready. I want to explain to you guys a little bit that's going on with the delay in these contracts. This project, as I say all the time, it's crazy, okay, how complex it is. And all of these smart contracts have to communicate with each other. Avalanche block time is 1 to 2 seconds generally to process. So these contracts, the gas consumption has got to be right on target, because if it can't communicate with all these contracts and bring that information back by the time that transaction times out and fails. And so right now they're fine tuning these contracts so that they are able to retrieve the data that needs to be retrieved almost instantly, keeping the gas fees low, and make it so that they can complete before the 1 to 2 second block ends. Okay. So right now we're just really fine tuning that. If you have, a million users who are here and we don't have this piece done precise and very efficiently, it will cause issues in the future. And so we are struggling with that just a little bit. Nothing that won't be solved. We always solve everything. It's just a matter of, it's all math again, in making sure that we've got these smart contracts just working like a greased wheel, that they're very efficient, that they're only retrieving data that absolutely needs to be retrieved. For example, when you submit that proof of physical activity, it has to retrieve that data, send it over to the hatchery so that you can get your rewards there. Okay, now if you submit the data, it goes to the hatchery, and then your 222 days are up. It's also got to know that that wallet can now be released and it can go into the golden hatchery. Okay, there's all these things. They all have to communicate. And so that's what we're fine tuning. But bottom line is we have an amazing project here. We always think of our community who's gone through the bumps and bruises with us first. We want to make sure that you guys benefit very, very well from this project. So hopefully everybody understands what I just shared with you. Next thing I'm going to do is if anybody has anything they want to add, I don't want to do support questions, but if anybody has anything they want to add to this, your experiences, how excited you are about the tokens you are mining, anything like that. I am going to open it up tonight for people to do that. If you have customer support questions, take it to customer support. I don't want to do that here. My brain's too tired for that. Those of you, real quick, if you guys were in the original hatchery and you canceled those miners, remember, so that you could go into the tier 4, please send. This was taking me hours because when you would cancel a hatchery card, it shows as a claim. So some of you are like, I already can tell, way into Movequest, because some of you have got 100 miners, 50 miners, 40 miners. And I'm like, whoa, okay, you guys are serious, which is great. But I'd have to go through every single one of those. Okay, did they get a miner? It would have the miner ID. They didn't get the miner, then it would just show the Movequest come back. But then I had to go and figure out what was Movequest market value at that time. So I knew if you had a Vanguard, if you had an Explorer, if you had a Trailblazer. Finally, I just said, forget it. It's taking me days. I don't have the time for this. Send in an email. I have verified who was in the old hatchery, who is in the new hatchery. You send me what you canceled. I make sure that you're in the new hatchery, and I am sending you out your miners. So send them to hello@movequest.com. Some of you have got some different emails, okay, and they're bouncing. And at the end of the day today, I tried to send out an email to everybody that said, thank you for the information. Your miners have been sent. And I signed it with my name. But then about the last 10 or 12 emails, the email server wasn't letting me send. So if you don't get your miners and you've sent that email, I'm getting them back out to you guys very, very quickly because of your emails. If you haven't gotten it in an hour or two, probably your email bounced back. Maybe use a Gmail email when you're sending them. I know some of the Yahoo emails have bounced back. Some of the, I did get some Protons, but for whatever reason, I can't answer if you emailed me using a Proton email. And if you aren't sure if you got your miners, just go look under inventory, you'll see them, or you can go to Snow Trace or Snow Scan, paste in your wallet address in the search bar, and then it will show you if you're under ERC 721, because that's what your miners are. They're a token, an ERC 721 token. Click on that, and it'll show you what miners you got today. Some of you I wasn't real sure about, so I bumped you up to the next level miner because I don't want somebody to be without. If you feel like you were missing something, send in an email. But I'd really like to wrap this up in the next 2 days. Right now, I think we're about 100 people that still need to get them. out of about 500. So most of them have them. So if you've sent me an email in the last 3 hours, I haven't sent those out yet because I was getting ready for tonight's presentation. But yep, I'll check the spam folder. All right. So anybody have anything they want to add? Raise your hand and we will bring you up.
Okay, Lynette. Miss Lynette, it's gonna give me a minute because I have to actually pull them over. So,
Okay, I'll let you want to handle
uh,
that part?
well,
I'm not very good at
hold
this.
on one sec. So, um, go right ahead, Miss Judy.
Hey guys, thank you for taking my query. I just want to clarify something now with regards to the hatchery. Now, for those of us who were already in the old hatchery and who have, let's say, up till the last few days of this month here for our vanguards to mature, uh, will we still be able to go into that new hatchery? Because I know some of us didn't cancel it in order to go into the other
Yeah.
hatchery because there was just a few days left.
No, you'll still be able to. I would say that there's at least I would say 3 to 4 weeks before we close that off for people. And I think there's only I think the last miner comes out of that hatchery in I think 9 days, maybe 10 days, something like that.
Okay, because at that point we would also need to, because we're getting all the move quests back. So in order to put
Mhm.
all of our move quests into the new hatchery, we're going to need the 15% in the AVEX as well. So some of us may need
Yep.
a little bit of time for that.
And just to give you guys a little hint too. So when you go into the golden hatchery, you'll be able to add more move quests to it. Okay, so even if you just get a holding spot in the rewards hatchery now, so let's say you just do a navigator, right? It at least is locking your wallet in so that you can go into that high tier hatchery.
Oh,
So
okay.
that right. So it's not that you will only ever be able to put the amount of move quest that you currently have into the next one. You'll be able to put as much in the golden hatchery as you want. You'll just be the only ones that will ever get access to that. So my whole point is just make sure you've at least locked your spot into the 4-tier hatchery, even if it's just with a navigator, so that you at least get access to the golden hatchery when that comes out in 4 weeks.
Wow, thank you.
It won't come out in 4 weeks. It'll come out in 222 days because it won't be available prior to so when the 222 days is up, that one will be live. It's already done for the most part. The only thing that we're deciding on is whether people be able to compound. What do I mean by that? If you earned, 2 move quests today or 10 move quests today, can you add it to your balance to increase the amount of move quests that you're going to be earning in the golden hatchery? That's the only piece that we're deciding on. But on day 222, that golden hatchery will light up, and everybody who's coming out of the 4th tier will be able to go and roll their move quest into the golden hatchery.
Okay, so basically, but that makes a huge difference because I know a lot of us who were especially looking at vanguards were thinking we had to do the whole 15% for all the vanguards. So that does make a
You
difference.
do, and you do if you're coming in with your 16 right now. So the 4-tier hatchery is you're earning a lot of move quests. The more move quests you have, the more you're earning right now. But for people who can't afford to do that, don't don't do it. Just lock your spot in, even if it is with just a navigator, which is I think $7.50 worth of AVAX. At least you've locked your spot. Now, when you go into the Golden Hatchery, there is no AVAX fee for those of you who are already in this 4-tier hatchery. Okay. You're just able to move over to it.
Okay, so if, for instance, we were to go into this current hatchery now with, let's say, 50 move quest. Um, Afterwards, we would have the opportunity to say go in with 3,000 move quest.
Into the golden hatchery. Yes, there's not a limit of what you'll be able to put in there. There's just a limit on what people will be able to join that hatchery.
Okay, Thank you so much. That clarifies.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Ms. Judy. Let's see here. Mr. Edgar, go right ahead. I believe. Yep.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Hello.
Lynette. Thank you so very much for your transparency.
You're welcome.
When I first came into this, I had just had surgery on my lower spine, my L4 and L5, and I was off work for 10 and a half weeks, recovering, getting better. I've been back to work now for a month. But during that time and everything, Movequest was my tool to get me back into shape.
Awesome.
And I just really just closed my mouth, opened my ears, listened to what everyone was saying and how they were doing things. Financially, I couldn't jump into it the way I wish I could, but through the hatchery and everything, I started building. And then when you did the 4 tier, I was surprised and everything. I accumulated 100 MQTs. I was out 10 and a half weeks, but I accumulated 100 MQTs, not even realizing it. And then when the
Yeah.
4 tier came up, I was able to just go ahead. I just built two. I did, what was it, four of the Explorers and like six of the Vanguards, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And it was just like bam, it was just there.
Yeah.
And I got really excited about everything and just listening to everything and what you've done, just the transparency and everything being just fully decentralized and everything is never seen anything like this before. I've been in this
Yeah.
system, I don't know, since probably 2018 and had a lot of ups and downs and everything. But this right here for me is what is my promise to something happening for the good in the future. But I just wanted to
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for being here for me and for everyone else.
No, that's awesome. Thank you for being a part of the community and trusting us. We've worked really hard on this. We want everybody to win. We want everybody to make so much money you don't even know how to spend it and become so healthy and fit and just enjoy life with a project that you are in control of. You don't have to worry about it going anywhere. You don't have to worry about bad actors or greed. It's not here.
Yes, ma'am.
It's
That's
here
the
for
biggest thing.
everybody.
It's mine. I control it and everything. I
Yep.
don't have to listen to somebody else telling me, well, you can't do that this week. You have to wait till later. You know,
Right.
it's mine. And
Yeah, you don't.
I hodl. I do the same thing with my Bitcoin. I hold.
Yeah.
So I'm one of those that you'll never have to worry about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always going to have MQT and everything stashed away.
Yeah. I mean, we love it that our people are able to sell when they need to. That's great. And for those that are holding it, I mean, obviously, the holders always end up winning in the end because the market value goes up so high. I mean, look at Bitcoin right now. People were selling it when it was a few $100s because they just couldn't see it. And those that have held it, and I've held quite a bit of my Bitcoin, um, and at the market value it is right now, I still don't want to sell it. It's like, yeah, but I know it's going to hit $1 million. Like, I am not selling that Bitcoin. You know what I mean? And that's, you have both types. And that's what, if you have a solid project, they both can do it. And I know people get disappointed when they see the market value go down. I mean, that's normal. And this is a very good market value for the number of people that we have in the community. And not only that, but for the very little amount of time that we have been listed. And, less than 1,000 people that decide to get involved and come in through the hatchery and evolve, their 16 vanguards to titans. You guys will see the market value. I'm telling you, less than 1,000 people, the market value will be headed up towards that $100 mark again. It doesn't take much. What you're seeing right now is steady. because people are really waiting for that, to come off of the dev site, to go up on the .com site. We've gotten everything submitted, well, ready to submit, I should say, to Apple, so people won't have to use test flight here in a few more weeks. They're just going to have to go to the Apple, store, download the app, getting it in there as Movequest on both Google and, Apple. So a lot of things I think have slowed down growth, but once all of that rebranding is done and we do that grand launch, I think that this is going to take off so fast that people won't even realize what's happened. Like, it's one of those things that's just going to happen overnight. So those of you who are holding, you guys will be very happy that you did. Like, I know how solid it is because I know the time and effort that we put into building this over the last 4 years. So I'm 100% confident. And I know a lot of people still have to, proof is in the pudding, right? And people have been burnt so bad in the crypto space. But I love hearing your testimonial. I wish you a speedy recovery. I've got back issues myself. I was in a brace for 4 years when I was a teenager for scoliosis. Nothing compared to what you have had. I've not had to ever have back surgery, but I know when your back is bad, it's hard to even put a smile on your face. So I can tell you're pretty happy go lucky guy, and I'm glad that we were able to help you as well.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Edgar. All right. We have Brian Orr. Go right ahead, sir.
Oh, hey, my name is Curtis. I'm using my friend's account.
Oh, okay.
Logged in on it. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I just had a quick question about the actual the claiming process. Because it's not like a technical issue. I'm just asking it. Like, I tried to claim today. I have like 76 days of claims. And is there because I know in the hatchery you can choose how many you want to claim, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there a way to code the claim so you can claim 10 days at a time? Like you say, do you want to claim 40 days? So you get 4 charges or $4.
So the problem with that is the time that it takes for the smart contracts to retrieve the claims that you want to claim. And so what ends up happening is it times out and then you have a failed function. And so
Gotcha.
what we've done, we have to optimize everything. If we go beyond 10, it causes issues. We did try it with 20 and 30 before, and it would time out and it would not give you all of the Movequest that you needed because the transaction timed out. Yeah, you still had your claims, you didn't lose anything. Then you had to go back and you had to spend more money. So it's optimized, for its best. It's $1 for every 10 days. So,
Right.
but it's still cheaper. If you did it for 40 days, it would have ended up costing, it's like $7 or $8 because it has to go and search through, Oh, and another thing, you guys, I thank you for bringing up the claims. We optimize everything so it's the cheapest for everybody. So you'll notice that your claims kind of shift around and the dates go out of order. That's because we've created the system to pick and choose the best number for the best fee, meaning it might be, January 28th, 29th, 30th, and then it may jump down to February 6th, 8th, 10th. And then maybe you still got one from December, it'll throw in there. But what it's doing is it's optimizing so you get the most tokens for the $1 and then the gas fee. So it doesn't take them all in a consecutive order. So if you see your dates shift, you didn't miss anything. You just go to the scanner, like Snowtrace or SnowScan, and look up your internal wallet and you'll be able to see the days. But that's why we've got it optimized, from 1 to 10 days. And the reason we only charge $1 on the 10th day is to encourage people not to claim daily because it helps reduce the selling pressure. But yeah, if we could, I wish we could.
Yeah, that's why I got 76 days. I didn't because until the hatchery was open, there was no reason. I'm just claiming and just leaving it there because there's no point in me cashing it out. Because and Judy's solved another problem I was in. I was thinking I need to get everything out and then move it into the hatchery. That's what I wanted to do. So now I'm just gonna buy a navigator or whatever the lowest thing, so I can eventually get all my input Movequest out, so I can put it all into the hatchery. That's what I'm
yeah. You just want to make sure you at least lock your spot at the very least.
Yeah. Good deal.
Yeah.
All right. And I do have I guess I'll put this in the suggestion in Discord. I was a part of the group where in each call, in order to affirm that everybody was listening, get as much group participation as possible, he would give out codes throughout the actual presentation. And then each person who was listening to the call would have to go enter those codes to show that they were participating. Now, I'm just making a suggestion because it
Yeah.
made sure that people were listening. It was like, first code, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then later on in the middle of the presentation, another code, and at the end, another code. And I'm not saying you have to do a reward or anything for people who participate. That's up to you off the side. But it was just really, I liked it because it made sure in order for the entire group actually listen to the entire call and not, because it's strange. I see some people they'll be talking about, you'll make a clear explanation about why everybody needs to move a certain way responsibly with moving, being a part of an ecosystem. Then I'll see people still talking like they didn't hear anything you said, or there was no value in what you said. Like you selling $7 as opposed to selling at $200. So it's just, I'm gonna put that in the suggestion thing in the Discord. It's frozen.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let me see. Do that. All right, Miss Lynette. I'm not sure if she's frozen over here. Can you still hear us, Miss Lynette? I think she may have gotten frozen and has to jump back in here. We'll give her a quick moment or a brief moment to chime back in. Let's see here. There she is. There she is. All right, you're muted. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get this out the way. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That's weird.
Now we can hear you. We can hear you now. All right, we got two more hands raised, and then we have some questions in the chat or in the Q&A. So let's see here. Miss Beverly, go right ahead.
Hi, Lynette. Hello,
Hey.
everyone. So, general question related to the launch and not, submitting each day, claiming periodically for not claiming. So, I have not claimed in maybe 90 days or so. And I'm just wondering, will there be any issues with the launch and not claiming, or do you recommend that we claim during the transition, or any insight there? That's all I have.
Nope. There won't be any issues whatsoever. So we've migrated everything into the new smart contract. So everything will work seamlessly. Nobody will have to do anything. You won't even know it really. You'll just download the new app and carry on as usual.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem.
This
That's
may
okay.
be, you can let me know, just because I've been around. When I read the white paper 4 years ago, I jumped on board because it was very intuitive to me what the future held. So I do want to ask concerning the BNB, the BSC network. Any insights
I'm
there?
glad you brought that up.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So what we've been working on is being able to figure out how we're going to make all of these chains that we're going on work without having separate liquidity pools. And the Binance Smart Chain, everybody has to understand, there's about 500 people on the Binance Smart Chain compared to, more than 5,000 over here. So what we're doing over on the Binance Smart Chain with the grand launch, we're getting all of the smart contracts. Avalanche is actually a very difficult chain to build on compared to the Binance Smart Chain and some of these other ones, but mainly because of, well, I'm not even going to get into the technical side of it, but by getting the Avalanche really done, completely, we're able to go over and build up the Binance Smart Chain and the Kai chain the exact same way that the Avalanche chain is built on. Then we'll be able to go up on any chain within 24 hours. The good thing about all of this is that And those of you who are on the Binance Smart Chain with that Movequest token, you'll have to, we'll be letting you know here in the next couple of weeks how that's all going to work. There will only be one Movequest token. It will be the Avalanche. That will be the primary original Movequest token that will be wrapped and bridged on all chains. So one liquidity pool for all chains. So we don't have to worry about, well, people are going to, liquidate on Avalanche to go over to the Binance Smart Chain, or from Binance Smart Chain to go over to Base, or to go over to Polygon, so it's going to be the one token wrapped and bridged to all chains. So those of you who have your Movequest here, if you understand what I just said, it's not going to be 21 million Movequests per blockchain. It's going to be 21 million Movequests across 8 blockchains. Okay, now that's a big deal for the Binance Smart Chain. So we will be working with those who have Movequest on the Binance Smart Chain to get them Movequest from the Avalanche chain as well. They'll be able to convert it over to the Avalanche Movequest. And then from there, now we don't have to wait for each chain to stabilize, because there'll be one pool across all chains. So that's huge. So that's part of what we've been working on, Beverly, for the Binance Smart Chain. Even if we had the Binance Smart Chain duplicated where Avalanche is, it still wouldn't do what Avalanche is doing, because there still is only the 500 users or so over on the Binance Smart Chain. However, we are diligently working on making sure that the Binance Smart Chain is as strong as Avalanche, and that all future chains are as strong as well. And again, like I said, with only 21 million Movequest across all 8 chains. So it's not going to take long for the Binance Smart Chain, to snap right back into where it needs to be. In fact, it will get there very quickly. So I do have a lot of things that are taking place over there on that chain. Again, even Kai chain, we're working on bringing that one around as well. So you'll see those 2 chains come up shortly after we do the grand launch for the Avalanche chain. But I think the key thing that should excite everybody here is that it will just be one Movequest, one liquidity pool will be wrapped and bridged. So you will not see multiple liquidity pools with multiple Movequest tokens. That's a huge deal for everybody who's here right now that are actually mining this Movequest. If you think that, only getting a quarter of a Movequest or half a Movequest a day isn't worth it, trust me, it is definitely going to be worth it. This is probably one of the things I've been keeping under my hat, but because you just brought it up tonight, I think this should excite everybody, because that's going to be a huge turnaround for the Binance Smart Chain, as well as all the other chains that we engage with. And we'll be able to bring the other chains up a lot faster, because we don't have to wait for one liquidity pool to stabilize, because they'll all be operating on the same pool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's huge. That's huge. You mean keep
Yeah,
it
it's
down,
very
please.
huge.
I'm dumbfounded. I'm trying to find my keys over here. That was a new one for me right there.
Some things I have to keep under my hat for
that
a
was a new one for
while.
me right there.
Yep, yep.
All right. Let me see. All
You
right.
guys all know, if there's one thing I do know, it is the crypto space. And I do know that things have to be, just perfect. So I've been really working on making sure that that could happen. And we had a long conversation with some pretty major developers that have worked like on the Ethereum blockchain and stuff that we were talking to a couple of weeks back. And I was able to get some of my biggest questions answered about, just using the one token, and realize it's actually a lot easier than what I originally thought it was going to be. So yeah, it's a big deal. But yeah, I've been keeping that one under my hat for a bit.
I'm responding just real quick, and I know because we do have some people that are new to the crypto space on here, and I'm getting some of the chats, some of the messages coming through. For a person that knows absolutely nothing or just getting started, Can you explain what the significance of what you just shared is, understanding that this project has all the roadmap has always been to be on multiple blockchains, but each
Mhm.
blockchain was going to be it would still be called the Movequest token, but each blockchain was initially going to have its own 21 million tokens per blockchain. And what you just said is that that's no longer the game plan. You've devised a way to utilize technology to wrap the liquidity pool so that people can mine on any or all of the other blockchains that we go to. And that liquidity from purchasing miners, from submitting on a daily basis, all comes back, regardless of the chain, to one liquidity pool that supports the value of MQT. And it's only
Correct.
21 million instead of 21 million times however many chains, which brings more
Yep.
people. People can choose what chain they want to operate on. More liquidity, more value. I know I asked you to explain that question, so I did it for you.
Yeah,
If I
so
missed
here's the
something,
key
fill in the
takeaway.
blanks.
Well, let me give you the key takeaway to that. So and here's the biggest challenge. If let's say, okay, Avalanche is doing great. I mean, honestly, I know people don't, you've seen the $125 and you see the $8, and I see people get upset, and it's like, yes, this is fantastic. Go show me another project that's been on the market for less than, 9 months. I think we were only here 7.5 months. That has a market value of $8, where people have already converted over $25 million of their Movequest into USDT and cashed it out to their bank. It don't happen. It's very solid. But the biggest challenge was this. We bring up Polygon, okay? We bring up Base, we bring up Arbitrum or any of these other blockchains, and we have 21 million tokens on each chain. 21 million for Base, 21 million for Polygon, 21 million for whatever these chains are going to be, right? And there's a couple, they change periodically because there's some really new, good, great ones that are actually pushing above some of the ones we wanted to use. But what would happen is you would sell your Movequest on Avalanche because now you want to go buy Movequest on the Base chain or one of the other chains. So you could buy those miners. That hurts that liquidity pool, but it boosts this one. You got a problem there. So I had to figure out a way to make sure that all of these, that it was just one liquidity pool across all chains. Now you don't have to sell your Movequest on Avalanche to go buy miners on another chain. You just go buy the miners. You didn't have to sell it and from one pool to get involved in another pool, because now there's just one pool across all. So that's the number one key factor. So you can be on multiple chains and it won't hurt any of the chains liquidity pools, because they'll all be operating from the one pool. That's the biggest takeaway. The reason, and a lot of people ask me, why do you want to be on so many chains? Okay, so whenever I do something, I always go big. I don't think little, small. I think very huge. And even when I was a kid, my dad would be like, can't you just be a secretary? Nope. This is what I want to do. Then it would be some big time corporate lawyer and blah, blah, blah. But always had to do everything, too big. And with MoveQuest, this is a huge project, guys. Okay. And I see huge, like I want to make and create a project where there's so many millionaires, you guys just can't stand it. And so when I'm looking at this project and I'm thinking, okay, we got to have this, we got to have this, we got to have this, we got to have that. I got to make sure that it's strong for everybody. I got to make sure that, you don't have to spend and keep spending and keep spending. Have to sell over here so you can go buy over there so you can take part on all the blockchains. I want everybody to be able to benefit from everything that's here. I want everybody to be able to be the best versions of themselves and the wealthiest that you could possibly be. And we've taken our time, and I know, like some of the delays and stuff, because I'm a perfectionist. And everything that has gone into this project, trust me, it has been challenging. It has been difficult. Probably 9 out of 10 people would have quit. My biggest ultimate goal for this project is to be the best project in the crypto space. I want to be bigger and better than Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the first one to hit, right? So of course it's not perfect, but it's got a major market value. I want Movequest to surpass Bitcoin in unimaginable ways. And by being on multiple blockchains, when we have 1 million users, you see all the shit show projects that are out there. There's scams, they take your money, the rug pulls, they run with your money. There's nothing there. When Movequest becomes that top project in the crypto space, we have 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million users. Guess what? A new project hits the market. All they have to do is airdrop their token into our distribution airdrop contract. And we've given them an audience of 1 million to 10 million people who are instantly engaged in their project. Why? Because we vetted them. They did it right. They got a self-sustaining ecosystem. They're a promising project. And now we decide what projects go to the top. Okay, now I tell you guys, I'm a big thinker. That's the ultimate goal, to be the biggest, the best project on the market, to be able to, the best way to put an end to the scams is to beat them at their game, right? So in order to make it to the top, you've got to airdrop into our airdrop engine so that our community wants to engage with your project. We give you instant eyeballs. We give you instant engagement. We instantly take you to the moon, but you got to do it right. And if you're not doing it right, you don't get into our airdrop because you'll never get vetted and you'll never get approved. That's the whole big goal. That's the ultimate goal for me with Movequest. We've got a long way to go, but I never quit and I usually get what I want. So I think we'll see it happen.
All right, real quick, Ms. Lynette, just because I'm getting the same question over and over.
I'm a Scorpio. Somebody just asked, what's your sign? I am a Scorpio.
I just want to make sure everyone is completely clear, and I'll state it and you can just tell me where I'm wrong if I'm wrong. We currently have the 4-tier hatchery. Everybody has the ability to enter into the 4-tier hatchery, whether it's with a navigator all the way up to a vanguard, at whatever level they're able to do so. Between now and the time that is turned off, that is cut off, and a new hatchery is implemented or brought to the fold. All of the wallets.
Only till the launch. Here's the thing.
Right.
When we do our grand launch, they won't get the Movequest back. And those people from that forward on, that becomes an onboarding tool. They won't get into the golden hatchery.
Right. Which
we
know these dates can change or whatever. So I'm not giving a date. I'm just giving a window to wrap your head around potentially or whatever. So somewhere in the next 2 to 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks at least will be that open window for individuals to be able to get a wallet address with MQT in it and obtain a card and enter the existing Tier 4 hatchery. The existing Tier 4 hatchery is the golden hatchery. They're synonymous because you got into it before it was closed. A new hatchery will be brought forth for everybody else to participate in after that cutoff, and that hatchery will not.
No.
Okay.
No,
so, okay.
This is the 4-tier hatchery. It will remain the 4-tier hatchery. The golden hatchery is the new hatchery that will open up on day 222 from the first day we started. And the wallets that are in prior to launch are the only wallets that will be able to enter into the golden hatchery, because that one's got some other perks. You'll be able to add Movequest to it. We're deciding if you'll be able to take your daily Movequest earnings to compound, to add up to the additional Movequest, what the dates are going to be. We may even have some different values if you lock it for 90 days, if you lock it for 120, if you lock it for 222 days, your earnings would be higher. So there's some things we're still doing for that golden hatchery, but it will only be those who are this hatchery here will always be the same. what's going to happen is that when we do the grand launch, it's going to change. So we'll change the values. It'll take a little less Movequest, same amount of AVAX. So it'll cost the same as if you minted and evolved. But in the hatchery, you earn the additional rewards. They won't get the Movequest back. They'll still have to spend Movequest and AVAX. It'll be the full cost of what it would be to do an evolution. So people coming in using the hatchery won't get a discount. They'll just get the Movequest earning perks of the tier 4 hatchery.
Gotcha.
Now, those of you who move out of the 4 tier into the golden hatchery, you won't have to pay an AVAX fee. And you won't get minors. You're just locking up that Movequest. You're just holding it for those rewards. You've already got your minors. You're just moving into that higher tier. Now, let's say we have 1,000 wallets, right, that go into the golden hatchery. As people drop out of it, okay, if there's only 1,000, there will ever only be 1,000 in that hatchery. So as people drop out, it will just end, right? That we won't open it up to any other users. It will only be this group. It's only you guys are our first movers, right? You guys feel the bumps, the pains, the delays. When we do the launch, it's smooth sailing from there. Nobody had to experience what all of you have. So this is your perk. This is your, this is your,
Gotcha. Okay.
I was here and I had to go through it. I get this and you don't.
Gotcha.
And it's a great time to bring in people too that want to take advantage of that. It's really a good onboarding tool right now for people.
So perfect. I'll pop my apologies to the 2 people that I replied to via message, because I was under the impression that they were the same. It is 2 separate hatcheries. Your wallet address is grandfathered and will be allowed access to the golden hatchery as long as you get into the existing tier 4 hatchery prior to the release of the new site, and we move forward here in the next few weeks.
And you'll be able to, that's not a one only in the golden hatchery. You can enter it as many times as you want, and you can add additional Movequests to it as well.
Perfect.
It's just only going to be there as long as this first, tier 4 movers are still in the hatchery. When the last person doesn't, which I don't know if that'll ever happen, doesn't deposit into it, then it would just fizzle out. But no, you can enter it as many times as you want. You can add as much Movequest into it as you want. You can continue to add into it. There's no limit for those users. It's only limited though to those who are in the 4 tier hatchery prior to our launch.
Understood. All right. And let me see. Other than that, I don't know if you can see the Q&A board. I believe.
Yeah, somebody just asked, what's the benefit of the golden hatchery?
Yeah.
The benefit is that you're earning additional Movequest every day, 0.001846 Movequest. If you're not a seller of your Movequest, you don't have to pay an AVAX fee. If you do want miners, you'd have to pay the AVAX fee. But a lot of you probably won't want the miners by then. You won't have to pay the AVAX fee. You'll have the option whether to mint miners in the golden hatchery or to skip the minting of the miners. If you want the miners, you'll pay the AVAX fee. If you don't want the miners, you'll just deposit into the golden hatchery. It allows you to still get the benefits of those extra Movequest rewards without having to sell. When you're ready to sell, obviously you don't want them in that golden hatchery. But that's like the golden ticket, like the Willy Wonka. It's like, that's the top tier hatchery, and it's limited to just those who are in the 4 tier right now, because we are going to change the 4 tier. You won't get the Movequest back. People will onboard using the hatchery because they get their miners immediately. It gives them the advantage of being able to earn that 0.001846 Movequest for onboarding through the hatchery. But when their time is up, the only thing they'll get back is their rewards. They will not get their Movequest back. So it's a awesome scarcity tool. It's pulling that Movequest out of circulation for future liquidity. It creates a major demand by using that hatchery for onboarding.
Perfect.
So the hatchery is a big deal.
And it would just be like they bought them anyway, but you want to go through the hatchery so you can get some additional rewards for doing so. So absolutely. Okay.
All the
Perfect.
Movequest that comes in goes to the vault, and then it can only be used for liquidity. So that's why I was saying earlier, Movequest never gets sold when it comes in through these different, through the ecosystem. In order for Movequest to get sold, it has to be purchased first. So it comes in and it's used as liquidity paired to USDT. As a project, I don't even get like our 10%. I don't even get that in the form of Movequest. We get it in the form of AVAX or USDT. There is no allocation of Movequest. I have to mine it or I have to buy it, just like everybody else. I didn't get one Movequest token allocated to me, nor did anybody else. There was no distribution done that way.
And, Mr. Taylor, go right ahead, sir.
Thank you, sir. Question, and I don't know if I understand this right. In the future, with there being one liquidity pool across the blockchains, will that be a hatchery for each chain, or will we be able to take MQT from each chain and put into the hatchery, this hatchery?
There'll be one hatchery as well. One Movequest token, one hatchery, one airdrop, everything's just one. It's all distributed from one. So if you're on it's still 2,500 Movequest tokens that go out, and it would just combine the global shares as one, and those tokens would go out accordingly.
Okay, so we can take
Same thing
the
with the hatchery.
MQT from Binance later and put into the hatchery, add to what we already have, to the golden hatchery.
Yep, the Movequest on the Binance chain will be converted. There'll be a smart contract that will be created, and you'll deposit the Binance Smart Chain Movequest into that contract, and you'll be returned Movequest tokens on the Avalanche chain.
Okay, all right. And that'd be for each chain. The same thing for each chain that you go into later.
No, because Binance is the only one where we actually had minted Movequest. So that's the only chain we ever have to convert. There's not been any other Movequest tokens on any other chain that's been minted. So from here on out, it just operates the way it does on Avalanche. And it's just one contract that's managing multiple chains.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Right. All right. Well, I'll let you direct us from here, Miss Lynette. If you want to grab some more of these questions, many of them are repetitive of things that you've already answered, but you can kind of skim and see if there's anything else you would like to address.
Yeah, so just so everybody understands, when you create a contract, right, everything is written to the blockchain. We can't change something that's already been recorded to the chain, which means you deposit it into the hatchery, which means you're going to get them all back. So even in 3 weeks, okay, let's say, or 4 weeks, if your hatchery, the incubation period isn't up, and when we change zero Movequest. So right now it says, let's say in the code, it says Movequest return true. It'll say Movequest return false. That doesn't affect anybody who has already been written to the blockchain as true. Okay, it only affects those that are coming in under the new figures, okay, for the hatchery. So it will not affect you. So when you enter and it says you get them all back, you get them all back when your time is completed. But when we do change it and we say, okay, it's an onboarding tool, you don't get the Movequest back. It's only those that come in from the time that we set that and we actually transact that, record it to the blockchain, that it takes place for all wallets after that, after it's been recorded to the blockchain.
All right.
Is there anything that you did see that I missed?
Um,
GFAM will be converted most likely into Movequest, but I'll let you know on that. We're still working all the details out for the Binance Smart Chain. When we do Binance Smart Chain, we want it to come up extremely powerful. We want it to come up as powerful, or to be able to become as powerful as Movequest on the Avalanche chain very, very quickly. So I'm being very meticulous at how I'm doing this. This stuff don't happen overnight, guys, so you're just gonna have to be patient with me, but it will be the same price across all chains. So if it's $125 on the Avalanche chain, it's $125 on the Binance Smart chain.
Got it. Got it. And this one came in several times this evening as well. I know you've addressed it before, but as far as the reserve tokens, um, from individuals that, prior to the new hatchery coming on board are asking, when will there ever be a time where they'll be able to see what that balance is? Not necessarily when it's being distributed, but will there be an accounting of how much it may be sitting there?
Yep. So they're working on making sure that you guys have that data available as well. So we're trying to bring up the Web3 design, the new design. And once that's done, then they're going to be able to go and there's a lot of stats that you guys are going to get, and that is one of them. Now, it probably won't be there on the day that it launches, but it's going to be very shortly afterwards. If there are stats too that you guys want to see that we're not showing, or that you think would be good stats for you to see, let us know that too. Go through Discord or send it into hello@movequest.com because we can pull all this data from the blockchains if people want to be able to quickly see it. And we can list it on the stats. But yes, you'll be able to see how much Movequest that you have in the rewards hatchery. And that will, I wouldn't count on it the day that the site comes up, which should be any time now, but very shortly, so that you do see what you have. And as soon as that market value goes up and that liquidity stabilizes, those will start to go out. There just has to be a demand for them. There's no reason to saturate the market and just have them be sold. It would not be a good thing. So we want to get them out to you as fast as possible.
And the last one that I can see that hasn't been touched on is the GFAM. I know we're going to convert the MQT. Will there still be some type of conversion for GFAM?
We're not sure 100% what we're going to do with the GFAM. I still have some work I'm doing on that. There may be a couple of things that Binance Smart Chain is going to do that the other chains won't do that would keep GFAM. It would probably always be a low valued token. We're going to burn 2 billion, just so everybody knows. There'll only be 500 million GFAM tokens in circulation. Just that's the one thing I am 1000% positive of. But we're still not 100% sure what we're going to exactly do with the GFAM. So I'll let you know on that too.
Gotcha.
It takes me a while to put everything my brain thinks into working order. And I've got a lot of things that I'm mapping out for the Binance Smart Chain at the moment.
Perfect. As always, Miss Lynette, we definitely appreciate your time, and I mean you really dropped some bombs tonight. Well, very welcome, very welcome. So I'll let me know whether or not there's anything else you want to address or share. If not, we'll go ahead and let everybody go and absorb all the information that they have received tonight.
Yeah, two things. One, there was the last question. They will be separate. You'll see what your claimable Movequest is, what your reserve Movequest is. There'll be two separate data sources that are coming in. And I do want to say one other thing in regards to cheating, because I know people kind of say, well, what difference does it make if we're contributing to the ecosystem? The end goal, it's not just about being the best crypto project on the market, but it's also being about the most efficient when it comes to the health data and that proof of physical activity. So I want everybody to know ahead of time, and don't be surprised when you hear this happen. We are working diligently at making it so people can't manually enter their physical activity. If somebody walked 1,000 steps today and you're doing 20,000, but they can go in and use their fingertips to type in 20,000 steps, they're stealing Movequest from you. They didn't do the physical activity. But for some reason, there are people out there that have justified this in their mind. Well, I'm contributing to the ecosystem. I paid for the miners. I'm, submitting the proof of physical activity, I'm contributing. That's not what this project is about. We want people to be able to, in the future, let's say one of these big insurance companies is like, wow, okay, this is really working for people. Now we can give you health benefits, or we can drop your insurance premiums, or we can give you discounts, or you can get this perk or that perk because you're physically fit, you're physically healthy. We want the information that's coming through to be accurate. Okay, we don't care if you want to cheat yourself on your own data, if that floats your boat, fine. But when it comes to gaming the system or not being a legitimate source of physical activity, I'm totally against that. I don't care if you are contributing to the ecosystem, and I don't care if you spend $100,000 on miners. If you're cheating the system, you're gaming the system, and that's not cool. And it's not right. You don't want me to cheat you as the project creator, like all these other project creators do. And I don't want the community to cheat the project. Same thing. Okay. It's reciprocal. And so we are cracking down on that. So this is what will happen. Android is open source. Okay. Android, Apple, you can't cheat Apple. So those of you who get like a iPhone or you get an Apple fitness tracker, it will never affect you. You can't cheat Apple. But Android allows you to create all these, softwares and, scripts and whatever else, and you can pretty much do whatever you want. There's a lot of these apps that don't care what you put in for your health data because you're cheating yourself. They're not building it for like a crypto project. Okay. So if we cannot get that down, we may have to say only iPhones, only Apple Watches. Okay, I'm telling you right now, I'm really trying hard not to have to do that. Or we may have to say only this Android device can be used, or only these, fitness trackers for Androids can be used, because we will cut out the cheating 100%. Why? Because it protects the community. If they don't care, if they're cheating and gaming the system, they don't care about the market value of the token. They don't care what they're selling. Their whole thing is, I paid for it and I'll do what I want. I'm going to get as much as I can. Well, I'm here to tell you that I don't operate that way. And I will do everything in my power to stop the cheating, because I do care if you're manually entering that information and somebody else is out here having a heat stroke trying to do 20,000 steps a day. And you're over here using your finger to type in 20,000 steps and you barely got off the couch and you sat there eating chips and dip all day. So I do have a problem with that. And sorry, but that's the way it is. Don't care if people don't like it. So just know ahead of time, if you're cheating the system, we will put a stop to it. Your days are numbered. And if the only way that we can put a stop to it is by removing certain softwares or certain phones that you can use, that is what we're going to have to do. So be prepared, guys, because when this token takes off, you don't want people cheating you out of your Movequest. Okay, let them get up off their seat and do 20,000 steps and earn their Movequest just like everybody else. That's all I got tonight. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is.
Well, thank you yet again, Miss Lynette. Everybody, thank you for joining in with us this evening. If there's one thing to take away, Miss Lynette said this, it was going to be my number one takeaway for the night, is when she said earlier, it's only math. It's only math. So
Yep.
I definitely can see how the math is mathing right now. But you did drop some other bombs on us this evening, and it was extremely welcomed. Everyone, remember tomorrow, for those of you that want to share or inform, get some other people that you may know informed about the Movequest project, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, Mr. Brandon Ivy and Mornita Casa will be doing their weekly Wednesday afternoon presentation. So please feel free to get anyone you think may be interested plugged in there. Remember to stay diligent and vigilant as it pertains to securing your assets at all times. There are people out there looking to get what you have. Let's not let them have it. Outside of that, everyone, I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and we'll see you back again here real soon. Bye-bye for now.
Yep. Bye, everybody.